think that the best people who I've hired so far have been people who didn't really have that much engineering experience.
If you want to hire great people and have them stay working for you, you have to let them make a lot of decisions, and you have to be run by ideas.
How do you choose your team?
When I interview somebody, my interview question is always the same. It's
What do you
just,
ask?
I said, tell me the story of your life and the decisions that you made along the way and why you made them. Tell me about some of the most difficult problems you worked on and how you solved them.
So you want to hire the perfect employee, the one that's going to be loyal, not leave you, and get what you need done? Watch this video and let's break apart how to make it happen. Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer Waters. I am the Sales and Systems Sensei. Thanks so much for being here on this channel. It's so important that you build the most incredible staff inside of your martial arts school. Inside of any business, you need employees you can count on. You need people showing up that believe in your mission. And most importantly, you need people that will allow you to scale what you're doing so you can impact more people. That is a problem though, because people are fallible, you know, they have tendencies and they have issues and they're not perfect. So how do we actually get the perfect employee? Is it even possible to have somebody come on board, be trained, be excited, and be ready to take on the mission? Well, I can tell you that it is possible, and I'm gonna break down what we did inside of our 7-figure business, inside of our flagship dojo, where we have been past 7 figures for over a decade. And we have 20 plus team members. We actually call them team members and not employees. So I think we've got this down and I think we've done it right. And now today, I wanna share with you what we did. All right, so the very first thing that you've got to do is you must set expectations for new hires that are coming in. So let's say you go, you find the person, you interview them, you hire them. On day one, you need to set expectations. So many times what I see happening, and I used to do this exact same thing, I would be like, oh my gosh, they interviewed, they're ready, they know what they're doing because we gave them a job description. Show up for work, clock in, go. And the problem with that is that they don't know. They don't know what you want them to do. They have a general idea, but they don't know. Kind of like if you took a child and you put them in front of Legos, just random Legos, and you said, here's the box. I want you to build the Lego that you see on the box. No instructions, by the way. Just build the Lego set that you see on the box. There are going to be some children that are going to look at that box, look at those Legos, and they are going to be able to build it. And they might build it a little bit different, but it looks so similar. But let's just face it. The vast majority of children, they're not going to be able to do it. They're just not going to be able to do it without what? Instructions. Now, the more instructions and the more times that they built that Lego set, the more likely they're going to be able to come in, go, oh, well, this looks similar to another build that I had. Let me use the same structure that I used in the last one, and I think I can piece some things together and figure it out. That's why people are frustrated when they hire somebody who's had work experience somewhere else. They bring in the work experience that they had. You didn't give them the instruction manual for your business. So they take what they learned from that other business, they try to apply it, and then you get upset because the Lego set doesn't look the same when you didn't really give them expectations for how you wanted it built in the first place, all right? What we've got to do is we need to first say, hey, these are the expectations and here's the instruction manual. This is how you do this system. If you don't have that instruction manual videoed and documented, then you're gonna have to teach it, and when you teach it, document it this time. Once you've done that, now you've set some expectations for this new team member who's coming on board for what you want them to do and how you want them to do it. Next, what we have to do is we have to sabotage, no, don't sabotage yourselves. We have to make sure that instead of sabotaging ourselves, that we focus on clearly defined goals, okay? If you don't do this, you will sabotage yourself and this team member, because you're gonna say, build these Legos, put this set together, but at the same time, you've never given them the parameters for the time frame that you want it done, what you want them to do after they build it, what tools they can use. None of those things have been set out clearly for them. And because you didn't give them a clear and specific goal, they may get it done, but not in the time frame that you want it done. So instead of just hiring them and leaving them to their task list, make sure you have not only those expectations, but goals. What are we trying to achieve in the first week together, first 2 weeks, first month, 3 months, etc.? If you can get that down, now you've really created a lot of momentum in your hiring process. And yes, it's gonna take you a full 6 months for this person to be very capable and able to do their job. You may have to continuously work with this person very heavily in the first month to 2 months. You get to 3 months, they should be starting to learn some of these things on their own, and you should be coming back in and making small corrections. But up to 6 months, they should be well versed in what you want them to do. The last thing is when you do train them and you are working with them, you must talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So many people only talk about the good and they talk about ugly, and they're usually only one or the other. You have the employer who is all, sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, and you have the other employer who's all gloom and doom. You've got to be a mix. You have to tell this new team member, hey, you're doing great in these areas. This is what I'm seeing that you're doing amazing at. But you have to be real with them. You got to say, hey, I didn't really like how you did X, Y, and Z, and this is why. And listen, if there's ugly that comes up, you've got to address that now, not later. Don't think that this behavior is going to change. It's not going to change. We're in the testing the waters phase. So they are going to test if you have a situation where ugly comes up, something that you would not allow anybody in your team to do. That's got to be addressed and shut down. And then it's not on you that's being tested, it's on them as they're being tested. Are they willing to do what you want them to do? And I would just say, if someone's doing something that you would consider ugly within the first 3 months, the 6 months, they're probably not going to be a long-term fit for you inside of your martial arts school. So please keep that in mind. So again, what do? We set expectations. We must do that. Then after we set some expectations, have some clear goals, have some guidelines, and then finally, we've got to make sure that we're reviewing on a consistent basis the good, the bad, and the ugly to make sure that we have a character check in place with this person and that they understand the guidelines that we want them to operate off of. Hey, listen, if this is all making sense, but you want to dive deeper into this, you want to maybe see what it's like inside of our 7-Figure Dojo program, I invite you to come into our free Facebook group where we drop trainings every single week, in-depth trainings. We break it apart. You can actually see what our clients are doing. We bring our own clients on to break apart case studies of how we've helped them scale their martial arts schools to profitable 6- and 7-figure businesses. Join our free Facebook group. The link is in the description. Make sure that you reach out and you get inside that Facebook group today. Don't wait. Until the next time, guys, keep being awesome.